We can actually give it the Noble Hierarch next turn. Say go. Yeah, let's painter on white because we have double painter. Yep. And this does come up sometimes. Multiple painters does fix the issue of having the enough. Oh, he does know it's a combo. Okay. We can Court of Calling for another painter, though. Wow, he dismembered the black one. He must know. Oh, wow, Thought Knot looks kind of nice in white. Huh. Maybe they should have printed this in white. Just kidding. That's the whole point of the Devoid, but, you know. Whole point of being colorless. So far, I looked at the survey. We have 145 responses, far better than I could have hoped for. That's pretty impressive to get 145 Twitch goers to do that. That's very impressive. Decides not to attack. There's an Urborg in play. Do I really need to get... actually, Temper Garden is a tri-land now, thanks to Urborg. Is it greedy? Yes. Is it correct? Maybe. So, Teysa, we have the infinite loop, right? Teysa... 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oops. So Teysa, and then what? We can't court if I do that. I still think you're supposed to. Heavy Metal Amount is sad to say you're a great streamer. Glad I found this one. Oh, thanks, man. I don't think we're going to win this turn, though. Don't forget you need a cord for Black Painter, says the Mana Pie. Yeah, but we can't do it till next turn. Maybe I'm supposed to cord first. Teysa will be +1 for the Convoke. Yeah, we don't have enough green, though. Looks like you can, says Mana Pie. I don't think I can. No, we can't. I don't see adding triple green. Yeah, Mana Pie, maybe was supposed to cord first, then slam Teysa. That may have been oversight. Like, he could have another dismember. Oh, Thought Knot's gonna take cord. Fudge. Oh, wait, that's okay. No, it's not okay. Yeah, I sequenced this poorly. Well, no, he would have taken Teysa. If he is familiar with the combo, he would have taken Teysa instead with the thought. Whoa, why is this all distorted? What? Yeah, he takes cord. Fudge. Well, we don't have the infinite loop, but we can do the whole Lingering Soul him out and Gavany. That's unfortunate. Just sack spirits. Oops, I misplayed. There we go. Or mistapped. I guess pass it back. So we can exile some of the larger threats and then go ham with the mirror entity? Or we can use some Gavanying. Yeah, what the hell is wrong with this picture? I guess because of the painter on white, it's kind of making things strange. Spatial contortion on the painter. Oh, did I seriously just do that? Oh, we're going to bed. It's done. It's bedtime. It's bedtime. It's bedtime if I'm making mistakes like that. My uptime is too much. I'm taking a melatonin and I'm going to bed. Top deck painter, come on. I'm done, guys. It's bedtime. We'll vintage tomorrow. Bad Moon yells cancel. It's bedtime. I've been up for 7 hours. I'm done. What the hell happened, says Gaze. I'm done. It's bedtime. I'll show you the deck we were going to play, though. Vintage, we were going to play for the last bit of the stream, but I'm too tired, guys. I'm sorry. It's bedtime. But I was going to show you this. Whew. This is Lumberjack. What's cool about this deck is it hits the meta game of Vintage, at least on Magic Online. I'm not sure what you're going to be playing in your local meta, but yeah, I did. It was really bad. It's bedtime. I was trying to sacrifice the 3 creatures before I went in. Yeah. Yep. We've bumped up to 4 Death Rights. We're running a Nixie Jailer now because there's a lot of dredge on Magic Online. Other than that, it's just normal, everyday. You see this all the time when you play Vintage Lumberjack. Yeah, it did not go correctly, unfortunately. Tended Knight gives me... RX is trying to give me some cards for the deck. Okay, Tended Knight. We also were going to lose to the clock there, probably. I don't think I had enough time to grind it out anyhow. Not to justify the misplay, but it was a misclick for sure. Alright, Attended Knight gives me a 1-1. That's not good enough. I need like 3. Cloudcoat Ranger, that's the Kithkin one. I'm familiar with it. Like, honestly, Cloudcoat makes more sense in the deck than the other 5-dropper running. Okay, so this gives me a lot of white creatures. Okay. It's unexciting, except, if nothing else, an enabler for the deck. Knight of Eos, I'm familiar. We have an Eos. I have at least 1. Yeah, Ranger of Eos. Okay. It doesn't put them into play immediately, though, and they're not going to be white necessarily. I don't hate the Cloud Goat idea. I just know I'm just done. Thank goodness it's like practice room. My brain's just done. It's like 7 in the morning. What about Kithkin Shepherd? That's when I have to ring the bell and say it's bedtime. If that's just like when you have like a misclick that bad, you know it's bedtime. But it's been fun, guys. I'm glad that I still had my brain on when we were playing in the league. Jeez. But you have to laugh. It was hilarious. You do have to laugh about it, but was not where we want to be. Okay, let's see. Which Kithkin? Springjack? Doom Traveler, says Degenda. You could run Doom Traveler. You could run Doom Traveler. Okay, Springjack. Whenever he attacks Clash, if I win, I gain Double Strike. What? Oh, Shepherd. Chroma. When he enters the battlefield, I get a 0/1 white goat token for each white mana symbol. But, like, honestly, we have a lot of board states where we have a lot of green. So you want me to court into this if we already hopefully have a couple white creatures in play? What would the board state have to look like before Springjack is worth it? We might as well just court for the other thing, the Cloud Goat. Yeah, Doom Traveler, Cloud Goat Ranger seem more playable. Both of those seem more playable. This doesn't have such a high requirement. Kamiya False Hope. If you have natural Painter Tesa and want to court for... Hang on a second. If I have natural, let me read the whole... Need to court for white creatures. Seems like in most games you can just court for Painter on white, says Man of Pie. Okay, that's true. And that's actually what we were thinking about there, right? Just like court for the other Painter. Maybe we should just run the playset of Painters in the main. Who here hasn't seen Vintage Lumberjack, by the way? Okay, let me ask that question in a compounded manner. Who here doesn't normally watch Vintage or does not know what the archetype Orcish Lumberjack is? It's not necessarily an established archetype, but there have been other people who've played it. I'm not the only, not necessarily nutcase, but I'm not the only person who's attempted to play a deck such as this in Vintage. Who here has never seen something like this before? Lizardface has never seen it? Okay, so Lizardface, so what the deck is trying to do is just pump out as efficiently and quickly as possible some threats and hate bears for the format. No idea what the deck does. It's actually really cool. So basically, if you're up against Oath, you actually tutor up Gilded Drake, and then you steal whatever they're trying to win the game with. If you're up against Storm, you tutor Eidolon of the Great Revel, and they can't win. They don't run any hate for this, by the way. Storm is hilarious to beat with this deck. If you're up against Shops, you tutor up Predator, and then you eat their stuff. You also give it haste, which is relevant. We have ways to give it haste. This actually wouldn't be good enough in the deck if you didn't run the Anger. Speak easy. Thanks for the follow, Reno. Me neither. Okay, so if you're up against Control, you either get Edric. If you have enough mana to get to Keranos, you Keranos them. If you're up against a greedy mana base, that's various vintage decks, you Moon them. If you're up against an obscure combo deck, but isn't necessarily based on... Let's say you're up against Tinker, but they have ways to beat you that don't involve creatures, you can get the Glenalundra if you have enough mana. If you're up against Dredge, unfortunately the only main deck I have for them is this. We might want to start main decking this. I've been playing against so much Dredge recently. We might want to start main decking the Jailer, because honestly, the Shaman and the Ooze just can't handle Dredge. They're not fast enough. So if you want to win more games against Dredge, you can try main decking the Jailer, and then you would sideboard something like... Staticaster is very specific, but it's very good against young Pyromancer decks, and there's plenty of people playing that in Vintage. So this is basically just Legacy's version of Pod. Basically, yeah, it's built around this card. It's built around these two cards. So Lumberjack gives you a huge boost to your mana. Survival lets you abuse it the best. It's basically, yeah, it's kind of like Legacy Pod, or sort of. Well, this is Vintage, though. This is Vintage Pod. Yeah. And you run a Strip Mine. Like, you have a Strip Mine, and you have an Arbor, and all of the fetches are green. What's a Dirigible? Maybe run one more Abrupt Decay? I don't know. And he moves something into the sideboard. I haven't been impressed with the Snapcaster Mage, actually. Let's turn this into a Jace, maybe. Let's maybe turn this into a Jace. I haven't been impressed with the Scavenging Ooze. I think that Ixalan Jailer would do a better job, period, in the deck entirely. Unfortunately, and I think we're going to sideboard another Power Blast. Pod plus Death and Taxes. Yeah, it's like a lot of hate bears. It's really cool. It's really cool. It's very fun to play. Unfortunately, I'm too tired to play it properly, and there's no chance that at this time of night that we'll find... You get to run all sorts of cool sideboard, too. Like, you have tutorable Ingot Chewers for shops. You have tutorable board sweepers like Hellion. You have tutorable Lavamancer. You have tutorable Gorilla Shaman, or Mox Monkey, as he's been called. So we have a lot more red creatures that can come in that are tutorable. When we're no longer trying to pull off Force in the main, but there are very few games that you're not trying to pull off Force in Vintage when you're a blue deck, but yeah, they come up. I've had some games where you want to pull that off, so... And again, switching out Ooze for Ixalan. Honestly, like, I wish that Ooze was fast enough to handle Dredge, but honestly, this is probably the best hate bear you could ever find to fight Dredge. Ever. Period. Had an Endbringer holding down Kozilek. But yeah, Team Darkwater, I'm sorry, I'm just too tired, guys. My brain's just gone. But running Jace in Vintage excites a lot of you guys, so maybe we'll cut the Snapcast and just run Jace. Run a Basking Root Walla. Degenda, we've run Basking before. Yep, we've run a Root Walla. It wasn't high impact enough, but yeah, you can run Root Wallas in this. It's not really a Root Walla deck. It's trying to just, like, get the right stuff. We haven't used the Keranos much. There are some games against Control where you can get all the way to the mana for Keranos. Actually, you only need one Orcish Lumberjack to do it. Watch. So Orcish Lumberjack is Crack Sack of Force. If you have a combination of like Moxen or Black Lotus, makes it super easy. But obviously it's Black Lotus. You tap the Lumberjack as long as your mana, or you have like the Sapphire, or you have a Deathrite Shaman to pull off the blue component of Keranos. It's not hard to turn 2 or turn 3 Keranos in this deck. It's not. We've done it. Dude, I went to sleep and you're still here. Yeah, I'm done. But I'll link this in chat if you want. If you guys have access to the cards. Obviously, I'm borrowing a lot of this because otherwise I wouldn't be playing Vintage at all. If you're wondering, if you're like, whoa, why does this guy ask for ticket money sometimes? I don't ask for ticket money. You guys just donate it. There's a difference there. But why am I interested in accepting donations for tickets? Because most of this deck is borrowed. And these are not mine. Actually, no, wait, no. These were donations though. This was someone gave me a Mox Jet and someone gave me a Sapphire. But we don't own the Ruby. This is borrowed. This is borrowed. This is borrowed. This is borrowed. That's why it's different. These you guys helped me raise a couple summers ago. Borrowed. This is a donation, but otherwise would have had to have been borrowed. Dicker Boone, thanks for the follow, Reno. Borrowed. No, this is actually, he just said I can keep it, so that's a gift. I think this is from Card Hoarder. So I think this is from my sponsor. Borrowed.